a couple Heisman's and at least one Natty. So
Okay. Have you spoken to Brady yet? Have you connected?
If that shit don't give you chills as a Michigan fan, I don't know what does. Coming off the year Michigan just had, where we had probably a top 3 worst quarterback class in Michigan history, far as depth goes. You know, we started with Davis Warren, ended with Davis Warren, Jake Tuttle, Alice Orgy. But the one thing about right now, this dude, Bryce Underwood, is ready to go day one. We know about the athleticism and our number one player in the nation, but we didn't get this feel from Jaden Davis last year. And I don't want to bash Jaden Davis because, you know, he didn't get the same hype in the interviews. So I don't just want to say he didn't have that dog mentality. But you cannot have a dog mentality and sit through that season last year and say you want to be the starting quarterback and watch that play happen. I would rather him just transfer after the season. Because right now, you have a guy like Bryce Underwood ready to come in and be a dog day one. This dude is ready to be a dog day one, man. He said couple Heismans and one natty. He didn't say a couple natties and one Heisman. He said, man, I see it going, my legacy being a couple natties. I mean, a couple Heismans and one natty. And after watching that, that's all I really to see. That does Bryce Underwood start day one? Hell, fuck yeah, he start day one. Hell, fuck yeah, a couple Heismans and a natty. If you Jaden Davis and you was willing to sit in that, I'd rather you did some tweeting shit. You had to be pissed. You had to be pissed. It's no way in hell Bryce Underwood was on that team this year watching that and set the bench and like, you know what, I'm cool with this. I'm going to come back next year and compete. Compete against who? You got 2 quarterbacks coming in that was better than everybody in that room last year. And you want to wait to this year to compete? Like I say, no knock on Jaden Davis. You know, he probably would have gave a great answer if he was asked the same question. But to see how that year went last year, I don't want to see nobody in that quarterback room on this team. It's not Jaden Davis' fault. But when you have a situation like last year and you are a 4-star recruit, what the fuck you got to lose? So, yeah, it's Bryce Underwood. We'll see how it goes with the Fresno State transfer. But he said in the interview, if you watched it, he want to work for everything. So he's not coming in with the mentality that, oh, I'm Bryce Underwood, I'm the starting quarterback. No, he said it. I want to work for everything. And this dude is going to be special, man. This dude is going to be special. So Bryce Underwood, day one starter against New Mexico. Go ahead, lock it in. And speaking of New Mexico, just wanted to also go over the schedule right quick as well. Just possibly talk about toughest opponents going to be next year. The schedule's been out for a while now. So just wanted to bring it up. the season's going to start off against, like I said, against New Mexico at the Big House. Then you go on the road to a now SEC Oklahoma, which hopefully I'll be at that game, Lord willing. But you will be at Oklahoma, back at home versus Central Michigan. Then you're going to be on the road against a tough Nebraska team. Back at home against Wisconsin. Then back on the road against a tricky USC team. Then we have which feel like the fourth or fifth time we've played Washington in the last 2 or 3 years. But then we have Washington. Then we at Michigan State. That quarterback is going to be there another year now. It's a potential tricky game as well. Then we have Purdue at the Big House, at Northwestern, at Maryland, and then we got Ohio soft at home. So looking at it, I definitely feel that Nebraska game is probably going to be the toughest game of the season. Like, that team was a couple plays away from having a great season last year. They could have been just like Indiana. You know, they took Ohio down to the wire, had the big game against Colorado, and just kind of had a slump right there. But I definitely feel Nebraska is going to be the toughest game on the schedule. I feel at USC is going to be tricky as hell. At USC's go because Lincoln Riley is definitely one of the best offensive minds in college football. And just like Michigan, just like OU, just like a lot of these teams that with the transfer portal and NIL, the team's going to be different every year. So just because USC sucked last year, that don't mean they're going to come out and have those same players. Just like Michigan, everybody made big splashes in the offseason. So that Nebraska and USC is definitely two games I think going to be tricky. So that's why I say my 2025 prediction is going to be Michigan probably go 11-2. So 11-2, which is a great season for anybody. But yes, Nebraska is definitely go because you in Lincoln, Nebraska, that place is always sold out. And having Michigan come to every time we go there is a crazy game. So it's definitely gonna be a hard fought battle, Big Ten style. Wisconsin, you never know. They always have a great running game. Always have great defense as well. Washington, Michigan State is going to be tricky, but Ohio soft, I feel we go beat the shit out of them. Probably this year, I'm predicting that Michigan has probably one of the biggest blowout games against Ohio in history. I don't know the stats as far as what's the highest, normally the last couple of years has been 14 7-point wins. So I'm predicting that Michigan win by at least 35. But yeah, that's gonna be my prediction, man. It's gonna be interesting to see that New Mexico game how we look. Cause I know everybody, we ended on a good ass note last year. So we really can't say too much bad about it. But we definitely, that offensive play from last year, we looking to get out of our miseries. So we definitely want to see how Michigan come out looking against fucking New Mexico. I want to see Bryce Underwood out there, and I can't fucking wait. So there you have it. And just another thing as well, I'm not sure and I know it's some Michigan fans in Oklahoma, but if you in Oklahoma and you're gonna be at the Michigan game and you just happen to watch this channel before, let me know, man. You're gonna be doing some tailgating, hoping I get that early as hell. I got a 1971 Chevy C10 I'm trying to have done by this game. But if you're a Michigan fan and you're going to be down in Norman September 6th, the time hasn't been announced yet. I will have my tickets here ASAP. But September 6th, if you're going to be in Norman, let me know, man. We can link up, tailgate, whatever. This is going to be a cool experience. I've been waiting on this game since they announced it like 12 years ago. 12 years ago. I'm starting to see a lot of more Michigan fans in Oklahoma, but 12 years ago, it wasn't many. It wasn't that good. It wasn't too many Michigan fans, really proud Michigan fans down here 10 years ago. So to see how a national championship, and you starting to see a lot of more Michigan fans. So if you go be a Michigan fan in Oklahoma September 6th, even if you're not going to the game, just tailgating, whatever, let me know, man. Anything else? Go fucking blue.